I have been watching Pham's book videos, honestly, since she started posting book videos on her second channel, and we have pretty similar tastes. At least so far we have, because I read The Selection and A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, just the first 2 books in each of the series, and I loved them, she loved them. So I'm just gonna be taking more of her recommendations and reading books that she loves. I'm gonna start with The Inheritance Game because I started this months ago. I got about like 30 pages in and it put me in a reading slump, which is unfortunate, but I'm gonna give it another chance because I do think it's a good book. I just wasn't in the mood. What I know going into this is that it reminds her of Knives Out the movie. There's short chapters, and it's a trilogy, basically. So yeah, let's get into it. So far, I am 250 pages into the Inheritance Games. I'm about to start chapter 60. And I mean, I've liked it so far. I'm not in love with it. I am a little worried that I'm not gonna love it by the end because Haley said that it's just really fun to read and the mystery keeps you reading, the romance keeps you reading, and like, I guess. But to be honest, I'm 250 pages in and I'm not even sure who she's gonna end up with. I'm assuming it's gonna be Jameson, but I mean, it could be Grayson for all I know. I'm hoping that even if I don't figure out like the big mystery, I'm hoping that I get like all the other loose ends tied. Like, I think I deserve one or the other. Honestly, this film is like very confusing because Avery got the money from Tobias, who is the father of Sky and Zara, and Sky has 4 sons named Nash, Jameson, Grayson, and Xander, and then Sky also may have like a brother who's alive, maybe he's dead, we don't know, his name is Toby, but then Zara's husband is the uncle of Thea from school, who is the best friend or ex-best friend of Emily, whose sister is Rebecca, and Rebecca's grandparents live in the Hawthorne cottage. So everything's like twisted and tied together. Well, I have finished The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I'm probably gonna give it a 4, maybe like a 3.5. It sounds low, but I feel like without reading the other 2 books, honestly, that's about as high as I can give it. I'd probably give it a 4. Like, I like it, I don't love it. I'm not like thinking about it. I think my biggest problem is that I hate the trope of like a love triangle with brothers. Like, I hate it. So given the fact that that's basically what a large portion of like the romance is about in this book, I'm not in love with it. That being said, we're on to our second book, Better Than the Movies. She talks about this book a lot, and I mean a lot. So I've got high expectations. I know that there's a playlist at the end of this book, so I think I'll make the playlist for it before I actually start reading, because I think it's just it's fun, it's unique. My goal for today is to finish Better Than the Movies and start the next book. I'm hoping I can do it because I'm dedicating the whole day to reading. I am only on chapter 5 of Better Than the Movies, but there's only 13 chapters left plus an epilogue, so it doesn't sound so bad. But I counted the next chapter and it's 50 pages long. Obviously, before we start reading though, we need coffee. I just finished chapter 5 of Better Than the Movies, right? And it was not 50 pages long, so I was like, oh no, and now I've embarrassed myself because I've miscounted so badly. But no, it's chapter 6. So chapter 6 starts on 164. No, it ends on 164. It starts on 105. So that's basically 60 pages. This is how much I've read, and this is chapter 6 of the book. Well, it did take me a little bit more time to finish Better Than the Movies, but I did finish it. I actually really enjoyed it. It's not a 5-star for me, but it is a 4.5. It's like nearly perfect. And I don't know what I would have changed about it, but it just didn't give me that 5-star feeling. I think it took me a little longer to read because the chapters are decently long, but like it was a fun book to read. I would recommend it. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. Like the fact that every chapter starts with a movie quote, I mean, that makes it really fun to read. Last book of Haley Pham's recommendations is Love in Other Words. I was a little skeptical about this one because of the old cover, but they updated the cover. This is the new one, and I was like, oh, this is so much cuter because apparently I do in fact judge a book by its cover. This book does look kind of thick, but like looking through it, it does look like there is pretty big text, and it does look like there's like short chapters. Now this has been what I've been waiting for. This is a 5-star read. The chapters go between like then and now, but they're like short chapters. And I didn't realize how much I missed my short chapters until I started reading this again after Better Than the Movies. This also felt so real, and there wasn't a lot of like fluff. Sometimes between the one now chapter and the other now chapter, like 3 months have passed. So it's not like we're following her everyday life. It really just is focused on her romance. It didn't feel like I was reading a book. It more so felt like some friend was like telling me a story about what had happened in her life. And it was like really quick to read, even though it was a little over 400 pages. So yes, I approve Haley Pham's book recommendations. I had a really fun time reading like Haley Pham, and honestly, her romance recommendations, I feel like were pretty similar to what I was interested in, because I definitely love the trope of like childhood friends to lovers, which I didn't know before I started this. Who knows, maybe I'll read her fantasy or her thriller recommendations next. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd appreciate if you gave it a like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. You're such a star, aren't you?